Hello, hello, everyone. God bless you. Yes, it is the time you've been waiting for. Senior Talk with Claire Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. Well, I tell you, I am extremely honored for this opportunity today, having had communication with many people. And of course, our honored guest is Miss Ollie Gordon. Let me tell you, she has been busy. She looks real relaxed right now. But she has been busy. So for those who've been watching, and thank you to those who are watching us and viewing us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope on Senior Talk Media, we welcome you, and to our community partners and friends, of course, the sponsor of this show, the Insurance Exchange, the place for all of your insurance needs. Well, today we're here because we're here to honor two remarkable people. One whose life was cut so short and senseless. And unfortunately, our country is still dealing with this topic and this dilemma of lives of significance being cut short. So Ollie Gordon is going to join us today. She is the cousin to Emmett Till, let me tell you. And then we're also going to take time to pay honor to one of the most dynamic women who, let me tell you, when they tell you it's not how long you live, but what you do. Yes, we would have wanted her here longer. Erica Gordon Taylor, powerhouse, dynamic young lady who still through her legacy, we are doing great things right now. So I want to tell everyone, as you're watching this program, please be mindful that we're going to put up the banner because there is a big weekend coming up. This weekend is to celebrate the 80th birthday of Emmett Till. And so, Ollie Gordon, welcome to Senior Talk. How are you this beautiful day?
I'm good, blessed by the best. Thank you.
Tell the truth, tell the truth. So what we're going to do now is this. We're going to just take our time, and I'm going to play an excerpt, and I always put out there that we do not own the rights to this video, but I'm going to give a little background of why we're here today, and then we'll have you come back and join us, okay? So everyone, just stay tuned. We got something to share with you. It's going to be very impactful, and everyone, we'll be right back after this message.
I believe that the whole United States is mourning with me. And if the death of my son can mean something to the other unfortunate people all over the world, then for him to have died a hero would mean more to me than for him just to have died.
A long way from home.
The name I chose to honor on the back of my helmet is Emmett Till. I think a lot of people don't know about Emmett Till. I learned about him when I was in the 5th grade, so I mean it's just pretty much stuck with me since I was in 5th grade. Emmett Till was 14 years old when he came from Chicago to visit his family in Mississippi, who got brutally beat to death actually by these white men just for whistling at a white woman when he was down in Mississippi. They found him a few days later in the Tallahatchie River, which is like an hour away from me, from where I grew up. When people, are angry at what's going on in the world, it's nothing new in my eyes coming from Mississippi. I've been around it my whole life, never experienced anything firsthand, but, I know what's going on in the world. I'm not blind to the fact of any of it.
The boiler was so badly damaged that we couldn't hardly just tell who he was, but he happened to have on a ring with his initials.
If you see the before picture of what he looked like, you would think he had an allergic reaction of some sort, 10 times worse than that. He was beat, hung, drowned, or whatever possibly you could think of being done to a teenage boy. It's very disturbing in my eyes. His life means awareness. Emmett Till is really like a backstory of how cutthroat the world is, how racism has been going on for numerous of years, going on in America, and people think it just went on in the South. Now racism is going on across the United States, and I'm sheltered because I'm an NFL football player, and I'm a black man first though. And, you know, once I take this Seahawks jersey off, once I leave this football game, then I'm a regular black man. And, you know, how are my kids going to, you know, view the world? Because I know how I view it. This is not a new problem. And, you know, we should have done something a long time ago, but we're living right now. People can see Emmett Till on the back of my helmet and, you know, go research his name. But, you know, racism is nothing new. And, you know, the effects of it. You see how it affects other people, other races. You wouldn't want to be treated like that. So just bring awareness to help your kids, the next generation. The world needs love right now. Say his name, Emmett Till.
Brother, take my hand. Brother, take my hand. We're going to the land of which we came.
Well, what a great video, a synopsis of this experience. Miss Gordon, let me ask you, what is your reflection? Because every time you hear the name Emmett Till, there is some reflection immediately. What does it mean to you? Here it is coming up on his 80th birthday. What would you like to share with this viewing and listening audience today?
First of all, let me thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, ma'am.
I get emotional, you know, because he was my cousin, but he was like my brother. We
Yes.
were raised in a home together.
Mm-hmm.
80 years that I've carried the pain that I lived with his mother for over 60 years. She cried every day.
Yeah.
And then each time you turn on the TV, you hear a lynching of some type going on. You hear a lynching and you don't, you say, Lord, it's still continuing. He's not hanging from a tree, but they're still being lynched in the street. You know, when I think of George Floyd and watching that on TV, I would have to close my eyes because I just couldn't. I couldn't stand to look at it.
Yes.
It's still painful, you know, generations through. My daughter picked up the baton when his mother died and continued to fight for justice for him. We don't want his dying to have been in vain, and we want his legacy to live on. We're talking 65 plus years since he was lynched, since that time. So we're still trying to keep the story out there and stay vigilantly trying to get justice for Emmett as well as others that have died at the hands of racism.
Absolutely. So what is critical is that we are, as you're saying, 65 years past, and there is not anything that we can say. We're still experiencing the same racism. And it's so dishonoring, honestly, of the legacy that his mom went through and the pain, you know. But I will say this, I got a high note. My family remembers Mamie Till Mobley being a school teacher at Scanlon in Roseville.
Yes.
So some of my family members remember her as their school teacher.
Yes.
So just think of how beautiful, and knowing that she suffered so hard. And then Erica took the baton, was already working in that spirit. How do we talk to the youth of today? Because we're losing them in so many regards, or just not even appreciation, the value of who we are. How would you address the youth of this time right now?
Erica always used the phrase, remembering the past and educating the future. So we must continue to try and educate our young people and let them also know that the privileges that we enjoy today as a race of Black people
Yes, ma'am.
Had it not been for Emmett and others along the way, the trailblazers, they will not have these luxuries and these opportunities. And if they are not careful, we will reverse history. And we don't want to go backwards. So you need to know your history in order to move forward and not allow these things to continue to be repeated. And at the same time, we have to educate them and let them know that we as a Black race are not the only ones that have suffered at the hands of racism. You know, when you think about the Indians and you think about the Jewish people, and then you just look and see what's going on with the immigrants that's trying to migrate to a better life. So we're still suffering in one way or another. So we must always we must always continue to educate and reflect on the past so that we remember and our young people learn so that then they can continue to carry the baton, the torch, and teach their children. So that we go through generation after generation. Emmett's mother said that she wanted his story to live infinite, forever. But whoever would carry the torch and tell the story and continue to fight for history. You don't have to be blood. It's whomever.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the things that I want, and I'm so honored to be known as the granddaughter in the community, is that I am really looking forward to re-engaging with the youth and the adults. We need to have a bridging of the gap because there are conversations that need to be had. I remember some years ago, I was working with Shay Rhymefest Smith, and we did a project called Project Connect. So we brought the youth together and we brought the seniors together, and we sat at a table and had general conversation. And one of the young men, he just told the older lady sitting down, "Oh, y'all don't know nothing about gangs." This lady stood up. She said, "Excuse me? The 60s, we were fighting for causes, not fighting against each other. We were fighting for causes for you to have this freedom of your life right now." And it was amazing how he never thought of that, knowing that he had grandparents. It just never registered to him. So now we're leading into the 80th celebration. I mean, there is a complete list of events to honor your cousin. And let me tell you, we are now posting because we were on Instagram. I am inviting everyone. Go to EmmettTillLegacyFoundation.com. It is all there. So we're taking is it almost Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays? Something is going on every day. So who is helping you spearhead and work through this program that's coming up this weekend?
Okay, first of all, we are the Maybe Till Mobley Memorial Foundation.
Okay, we'll take that too. We'll add
the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation is another branch.
All right, fantastic. We'll take care of that.
Okay, so Erica's foundation was the Emmett Till Mobley Memorial Foundation.
Got it. We'll take care of it.
And we are working in conjunction with a cousin, Wheeler Park, and his wife, Dr. Marvell Parker, who's hosting this weekend here in Chicago. We will be having some of the activities are private and some are open to the public. But once it's open to the public, we will have a wreath laying ceremony on Saturday, the 24th, starting at approximately 11:30 at Burr Oak Cemetery. And we will be laying a wreath at Emmett's grave to commemorate his 80th birthday, celebrating his life. And then we will move to his mother, Mrs. Mamie Till Mobley's grave. So put a wreath at her grave to honor her for giving birth to Emmett, first of all, and then for her fight to keep his legacy alive for all those years. And then we will move to Erica Gordon Taylor, who is my daughter, who was a warrior, a stoner for justice for Emmett, and supporting families that were continuously losing their children at the hands of racism. We will have a memorial. We will have a memorial service at her grave because we've never been able to have a proper memorial service due to the COVID. I lost her in March of 2020, not from COVID, but related illnesses. From there, we will be going to the DuSable Museum, where they're honoring the family with the celebration. that they're having a reception, and I understand that is invitation only.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sunday, open to the public again, in Summit, Argo, Illinois, they will be unveiling a marker in honor of Emmett on the grounds in which the house used to stand where he was born. The home is no longer there, so they're putting a marker, and then there will be some kind of memorial later on. There will be something else on the grounds to honor him.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. There is a photo that I found, and I don't have it, but what was that meeting like back in maybe February of last year? It was Senator Cory Booker, Senator Kamala Harris, as well as Congressman Bobby Rush.
Yes.
Now, stay tuned. I want to play an excerpt from his video and interview on MSNBC. Of course, Senior Talk does not own the rights to this, but this is a good segue. And then tell us where we are with this bill that we're trying to get done. Hold on one second, everybody.
After 120 years of trying, lynching is finally about to become a federal crime. The House overwhelmingly approved the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act in 410-4 vote yesterday. It comes after members of Congress tried and failed to pass anti-lynching bills nearly 200 times. Joining me now is the sponsor of that very bill, Democratic Congressman Bobby Rush of Illinois. Congratulations, Congressman. Why did it take so long?
Good morning, Stephanie. And it took so long because the Congress had been reluctant to pass this bill. There's been a lot of confusion around it. But, you know, we were consistent and we were determined. We had a lot of support, and it's the right time for this bill to pass. Because, you know, we have a growing evidence that there is an increased environment where lynching is a distinct possibility. It's not a relic of the past. It's really immediate. It's an immediate threat to all of us.
What will happen next? Are you confident it will be signed into law by President Trump?
Well, I'm fairly confident. We have been assured by three of the Senate sponsors of this legislation that Mitch McConnell will bring it to the floor of the Senate, that they will have a vote on it possibly later this afternoon. And then if they vote it out of the Senate, then it goes to the White House. And we think that the president will sign the bill.
Emmett Till and his family will never, ever get justice for what happened to him. But what does this bill passing do?
So we're not going to hear from Bobby Rush. We're going to hear from you, having been there with your daughter. I believe it was February 2020. And you're sitting with our now Vice President Kamala Harris, Senator Booker, as well as Congressman Bobby Rush. What is the status? What is the update? What was it like to know that your cousin, there is some bill that's going to be put into law for lynching? How does that make you feel?
It gives me a feeling that we're making many steps in a process that we've been fighting for a long time to get justice to lynching, period. Not just Emmett, but all victims being lynched. And the thing is, this bill was passed in Congress, and we were all elated. However, quickly we were slapped down from any rejoicing because it did not pass the Senate. Rand Paul, we needed 100%, and he felt that we didn't need a lynching bill because it was like related to murder, and murder was murder. You know, you couldn't separate the two. He felt that many people would probably suffer the consequences for minor offenses because it would be called a lynching, depending on circumstances in which I guess the incident had been taken. And this is the reason he decided that he would not vote to pass that bill. So we're still fighting to get an anti-lynching bill. And I am very, very grateful to Congressman Rush, who's always stuck by our family, to Senator Booker, and to our now Vice President Kamala Harris for standing up and saying, we want to pass this bill and we want to put the name on it to honor Emmett Till because of his history in sparking the civil rights movement. Because of his lynching is why we moved to the civil rights movement. And we have been continuously fighting to keep that movement alive and well until we do receive justice, not just for Emmett, but for all of the people that have lost their lives unjust, from being lynched, hung by trees, taken in the night by the KKK. And and it's still going on. When I looked at George Floyd, all I could say is he's not wearing a mask. He's not wearing anything. He feels that this badge gives him the right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so a different tactic, a different face covering. The lynching is lynching.
Yeah, it is. And even as the football player said, when he takes off his uniform, I am still a Black man in this country. And they could care less of who I am. It's just they're looking at my skin, not knowing any content behind me. And so there is lynching going on everywhere. So how do we support? What can we do, boots on the ground? Your daughter, Erica, I promise you, when I knew of her passing, I called your cousin, Thomas Crosby, and I said, I'm just going to represent and be in place to make sure that on my end, I can support the efforts, because I know she was serious about the business, a serious business. She was marching for other people because she knew that this situation with, what happened to Emmett Till is ongoing. And the unjust part is what we have to correct. So what can we do now to support the efforts of the Mamie Till Legacy Foundation? Or correct me if I'm wrong. I want to get it correct because I will post it.
The Mamie Till Mobley Memorial Foundation.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll take that correction and make that in our future broadcast, and we'll put it up on communication. So what can we do as a community? There are some people who are learning. As the football player said, he learned in 5th grade. There are many people who don't know about the story, but are reaping the benefits of some of the struggle of our families who've marched through the civil rights. So how can we advocate and champion behind your organization to support the efforts of Erica, yourself, and your whole family?
Well, we can continue to be vigilant and educating, as I said, education, educating the future, and also remembering the past. We can write our congressmen, we can, our aldermen, we can do whatever it is to support the community in the movement, trying to bring the anti-lynching bill to fruition, because I'm sure it's still on the table. Things been stalled because of the virus and various other things that have been going on. To continue that and continue, to support various organizations that's fighting for the same. We're all moving. We're all trying to work together for the same end.
Yeah.
Yes. And to try to diminish the crime that's going on against our people.
Absolutely.
And we also need to teach love. We need to try and stump out some of the hate, because it is learned behavior. And we have to, I guess, live by example. We've got to learn to love ourselves. We want other people to love us. As a Black race, we got to love us. We've got to try and curtail the Black on Black crime in some way, because there's something wrong. There's something desperately wrong. We don't love ourselves, so we have a hate that's deep. And I know it's learned. And it's come back from the slavery time, I do. So somehow we've got to teach our youth the value of life and the value of a race sticking together. We got to somehow teach them to love themselves in order to love others.
Well, I want you to close off, and I really sincerely thank you. I will be at some of the tributes through this weekend, and there was something that was pivotal that your family did that I'm not sure I will be in the right mind to do so. And that was, you used the word forgiveness. Your family used the word forgiveness. And I'm like, really? So tell me, using that word forgiveness towards the gentleman or men or several who caused harm towards your cousin, how did you all come together and say, that's what we're gonna live through forgiveness so we can get on to the march?
Well, Emmett's mother, Mrs. Mamie Till Mobley, she made sure that as young little children, that she taught us to forgive because she was a Christian, was of the Pentecostal Church of God in Christ faith, and you are taught to forgive. She said, only to hate, to carry bitterness is going to destroy you. You can be more beneficial to the world by forgiving and loving, and by example, again, people can watch you and say, well, if they can forgive, if that mother can forgive,
right,
then who am I to hate? So that's where the forgiveness came from. And I tell you, my daughter will tell you, she said, Mom, I'm not there yet, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's something that was taught to us through the generations, through Mrs. Mobley. She even talked to her students about it all the time. Yeah. I became an educator through the influence of Mrs. Mobley. She always referred to my daughter, Erica Gordon Taylor, as the grandchild she never had.
Yeah.
And she nurtured her while I went to college, went to school. We were cousins, but she always referred to her as a granddaughter I never had. And she just loved her like that. That was just, they nurtured her. We didn't know that she was grooming her to step in her shoes once she was no longer with us. And she did it with such faith, and which so because she loved her so much. She loved her. She couldn't have loved her grandmother any more than she loved Mrs. Mobley. And Mrs. Mobley's mother, Alma Spearman, we never speak of her, but she played a pivotal role in Emmett's life and Erica's life.
Yes. Here's the key factor. You just said it. We in our own homes have to be the visual examples to our loved ones. We have to be in our own homes, even i.e. during COVID. There should have been examples in our own homes where we come out of this pandemic prayerfully and have a plan of action. Yes. So I can only imagine the visibility of seeing Mamie Till Mobley and Mrs. Spearman, just the strength. And I will tell you this, I myself, along with my cousins, as I say, they remember her from Scotland. If she remembers, well, she's no longer with us, but my cousin Vincent Hubbard, he was sincere. We went to her service on Cottage Grove.
Yes.
At the church. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was there. That's how, I was at the service, and just to see the outpouring of just love. Because even beyond her hurt, she continued to show love. Where are we in this world thinking like this? But her faith in God is what really is an example for all of us during loss. Turn your head to God and be at ease and still work on the plan of action that you must have. So, Miss Ollie Gordon, this is not going to be our last time together. I'm going to see you this weekend, and we're going to be outpouring through the foundation and put that communication out. But what is your closing remark? You have been awesome today. You look real cute. Let me tell you look real cute today. I appreciate you being with me today. I am known as the granddaughter in the community, Senior Talk with Claire Hubbard. But I just want to also thank Thomas Crosby, president of the Insurance Exchange. That's your cousin?
That's my daughter's godfather.
Your godfather, that's right, Mr. Thomas Crosby.
Godfather. We met in college. He's my brother. Brother from another mother.
We love him. He's a great example. And i.e. to my business as well, he has outpoured himself to a lot of entrepreneurs and gave me encouragement. And I just appreciate who he is in my life as well. So we want to thank the president and family, the Crosby family, Mr. Thomas Crossley, specific president of the Insurance Exchange, the place for all of your insurance needs. They'll be joining us in our program in August and September, talking about some living.
My daughter, Erica Gordon Taylor, has always been there for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of the faces out at the cemetery on Saturday. And for the other events, thank you again. I appreciate you giving us this opportunity, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. So everyone, you've been watching another phenomenal episode of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. We are your resource and information show for people getting better with age. As we always close out our program, in complete darkness, we are all the same. It is only our knowledge and wisdom that separate us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. For more information on the 80th birthday celebration of Emmett Till, as well as the Erica Gordon Memorial Tribute, please go to Senior Talk Media. It'll be on our site, Facebook pages, and everywhere. Everyone, make it a great day, and we look forward to serving you and seeing you in the near future. Take care.